Madu upon you, you wash them, send face shoes. Blessing of the feast of the day of Judas. Barakatah Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Hiram Yahudah, Bashalawam, Tawada, Aman. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the feast of Judas. Thank you, so be it. Psalm 121. The Aliyah Ma'ah Hasharayim Akkad. Anya Orayim Ayinimya O Orayim Mayan Yabu'a Izoya Yabu'a Ma Yahweh Shaisha Shemayim Rataza Ra'a Yanathan Lamawat Wagalia Yala'a Yanawam Joshua Marka Ana La'a Yanawam Wala'a Yayashan Joshua Mar Yasharala Yahweh Shemaya Yahweh Tazalia Ayah Yad Yanim Yad Yawamam Ashamash La'a Akaya Wayarak La'a Balayala Yahweh Yashamoya Mako Rai Yashamor Napasha Yahweh, Yashimo, Awalakia, Wabaya, Maitha, Wa'aid, Waibulam, Basham, Yahausha, Dowada, Aman.
Psalms 121. I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
Amen. Shema Yasharala. Shema Yasharala. Yahweh. Eloheinu. Yahweh. Achad. Shema Yasharala. Yahweh. Eloheinu. Yahweh. Achad. Shema Yasharala. Yahweh. Eloheinu. Yahweh. Achad.
Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord.
Amen. Yahweh Tapala, Yahweh's prayer. Abiyanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakovka, Taba'a, Batazawanka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Ka, Bashamayim, Natananawa, Lakam, Yawam, Za, Wasalaknawa, Kawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawafyanawa, Wala'a, Abiyanawa, O, Nasaiwan, Abo, Ayoshainawa, Morai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wataparat, Laiwulam, Aman.
Matthew 6:9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Hashem Yahushua, Tawada, Aman.
Aman. Ashura Matazawaf, the Ten Commandments. La'a, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayim, Alkayim, Alpanya, La'a, Taisha, Laka, Oso, Wala'a, Taibadam, La'a, Talakwaka, Shamwa, Yahawa, Lahaika, Lashua, Zakar, Af, Hayuam, Ashabaf, Lakodashwa, Chabad, Abiyaka, Wa'amaka, La'a, Tuatazak, La'a, Tana'ap, La'a, Taganab, La'a, Taina, Shukur, La'a, Takaman, Kho, Ashura, La'aika, Aman.
Exodus 20:3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy power, and the jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain. The Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Hashem Yahweh Shah, Tawada Aman.
Amen. Yeshua, please be seated. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Natananawa, Praya Agapan Tuwada Aman, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Af Yasha'al. English translation: Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that give to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it, to Yahweh in the name of Yahushai with Israel. I madu upon you, are you wash them? Says Jesus. Barakatah Yahweh, Agadol, Rakaram, Abiyah, Manawa'ah, Aliyuwan, Malak, Shal, Shamayim, Barataza, Bakol, Tobayim, Kayayim, Wagum, Hamashiach, Mayahawa, Adawanawa, Ahabnawa, Apalah, Yahaitaza, Yahushai, Zakarnawa, Yahawa, Batazawan, Anka, Yasha Allah, Aizonawa, Bana, Wasap, Yasha Allah, O, Nanawa, Yamyan, Aitha, Kaiwamium, Akudam, Kawakushai, Shalak, Maika Allah, Atazawadak, Alahayam, La, Maganawa, Wapannawa, Washamor, Ainawa, Aikor, Shalak, Aroka, Shal, Yahushai, Lanawa, Ladamadnawa, Rabium, Akama, Tabawana, Vadaif, Shal, Tobarka, Bahasham, Yahushai, Tawada, Tamyad, Aibulam, Aman. English translation: Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living, and also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel, Most High, we beg you, right now, like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahushua to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always and forever. So be it. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that gives to us the Lord. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Natananawa, Ataorat. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the light to see. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Natananawa, Awar, La Ora. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the ram song to call the people. Barakata Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Atananawa, Quran, Ayor, Lakara, Ha'ain. Yeshua, please be seated. Shalom, Yasharala. Welcome to Hayasharala Kanas, the congregation of Israel. And Hayasharala Kanas stands for the congregation of Israel. My name is Kahan Pukwad, and today is the feast of Judas. And why we're here today is to celebrate the feast, to bring awareness to what this feast is about, as we do it every year. If there's anybody new who have not celebrated this day with us, we're going to read in the book of the Maccabees, and we will elaborate on what this day is about. Shalom, those watching on the live stream, and all brothers and sisters listening on the conference line. And just so that we can be clear, this is not a religious group. This is more so the kingdom of the Most High, which comprises of 12 tribes, right? It's Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and you have the northern tribes, where we have the Dominican, the so-called Dominican, the Puerto Ricans, the Colombians, so-called. You have the Mexicans, right? Those from Chile, Guatemala, Panama, right? When we talk about the northern tribe, those are the children of Israel. And those whose forefathers were brought here on cargo slave ships during the transatlantic slave trade, they are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. So every time there is a feast, the Most High ordained us to come and keep this feast in remembrance of this kingdom that we just prayed in Matthew 6 and 9, that Christ will be the ultimate King of Kings, right? Where we will reside over this world, as you know, most people may not think of it. This is it's about government. It's not about religion. And that's what we're going to read today in Maccabees, why we have this day called the Day of Judas, right? It was during the Alexander reign, after he took over from the Persians. And shortly after he died, generals who were close to him, they took over, and they were keen on establishing the Greek Empire that is known as the Hellenization period. And we can see that that empire still have influence on the world today, because the school system in every aspect of life, you can see bits and pieces of the Greek Hellenization. So the goal of Alexander or the Greeks was to Hellenize the entire world. So us as Jews or as Israelites, we have different customs. It would be hard for us to convert right to a different government and follow their rules, right? And again, this is not about religion. This is about rulership. This is about government. This is about establishing, an empire. So that empire wanted to usurp authority over us, and they wanted to dictate, who should be high priests, and you have our people as well who wanted to side with them so they can partake with the heathen in their empire, right? You have people who sell out and wanted to do as the empire does. So that's what we're going to be reading today in the 7th chapter, right? Sort of like what you see happening today. You have this kingdom, which is an extension of the Roman Empire, which also has, the Greek Empire incorporate with it. So they pretty much call, the United States of America along with their European allies. So it's the same extension of what was happening back then. That's what we are seeing today, and they want to influence the entire world. And any government who don't want to side with them, they they label you as either a dictator or they want a regime change in that government, right? So that they can have control over the entire world. All right. So now, what was happening now? We're gonna read in Maccabees, First Maccabees, the 7th chapter, and we're gonna read about Demetrius, who was next in line after the Seleucus the fourth had died. So Demetrius, who was in exile, he's gonna be taking over the empire to continue their conquest or to continue their rulership. All right, so and that's what we're gonna read here, beginning in chapter 7 in First Maccabees. All right, so to begin, it says, in the 150th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome and came up with a few men unto a city of the sea coast and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, and mind you, in this kingdom, in order to obtain power, it's always bloodshed, fight among the family. So about who will take over the empire, right, to rule. Sort of like what you see happening in this empire now, even more prevalent. You see the European Union, is in the verge of collapsing, right? This is the same thing repeating itself, right? Now you see the president of this country, right, is having conflict with other government. They're having conflict with other governments, and he's trying to establish relation or diplomatic relation with that country or this country, for example, Russia, right, and Ukraine. So it's the same thing that's happening. So where do we fit? Where do we fit in into this whole situation? And that's pretty much what we're reading here. Same thing that was happening back then is the same thing that's happening today. So as Demetrius came to take over, we're going to read what happened in verse 2. It says, and as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto him. So Lysias was the one that he had to overcome so he can take over rulership of the kingdom of the Greeks. Wherefore, when he knew it and said, let me not see their faces, So his host slew them. So he killed his opposition, right, of his own people, so that he can um, take over the government.
Yeah, I mean, Demetrius, even though he was, wicked as or what, he was the rightful heir because he was the son of Seleucus.
Right.
Now, the Romans and the Greeks had a war, and as a part of their treaty, they had to have hostages that was going to be in Rome.
Right.
Demetrius was the one that was hostage in Rome after his father died. That's how Antiochus the fourth rose to power. His uncle.
Right.
His uncle took the throne, and he's sitting up there hostage in Rome, probably thinking, man, I'm supposed to be the one who's supposed to be ruling now, right? And when Antiochus the fourth died, he was petitioning with the Romans to say, hey, let me go. I'd be a better ruler over there. And they kept denying him. It was like, nah. When Antiochus the fifth was there, it was like, we like when he's there because he was a young kid, right? They had a young ruler over the throne for the Greeks, so they felt that was going to be better for them because now they had a weak ruler.
Right.
And then over time, Demetrius was able to escape from Rome and then come to take the throne. And now he's removing those who was in power, which would have been Antiochus with Messiah.
Right.
So he said, I don't even want to see their face. Kill them, get rid of them.
Right.
Before I, don't even bring them to me.
Good. So just to see that whoever was Lysias and Antiochus, whoever was in power, you can see that Demetrius, it was not an easy transition. He had to fight, right, to get to power, right? So it was always a power struggle. It says, and wherefore, when he knew it, he said, let me not see their faces. So his host slew them. Now, when Demetrius was set upon the throne of his kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel. So now he's established as ruler. Now, the office of the priesthood was sacred and always is, right? And in order to rule Israel, you would need the priest, need to set the tone, right, to get Israel in order. But once you have the priest established, now the people, they will order the people how to go according to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And at the same time, we will be under the rulership of that empire, right? It's kind of like the same way we were when we were under the Persians. All right, in verse 4. So his host slew them. Now when Demetrius was set upon the throne of his kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having Alchemists, who was desirous to be high priest for their captain. Right? So once again, being a high priest was a president. I mean, it was a position of authority, kind of like a prime minister, right? But it is the high priest. So, but we all know what the purpose of the high priest was. Verse 6, and they accused the people to the king. So now there's backstabbing going on in order to take over. So you have to go lie to the next man that's in line, that's ruling the kingdom, so that you can appoint you in position of power over Israel. It says, and they accused the people of the to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends, and driven us out of our own land. So now, Judas, being a revolutionary, not wanting to comply with Hellenization, right? He did what was right for the people. But those sellout wanted to go, and lie about Judas to the king so that they can appoint them to the high priest position. Verse 7, Now, therefore, send some men whom thou trustest, and let them go and see what havoc he hath made among us and in the king's land, and let him punish them with all them that ate them. So in verse 8, then the king chose Bacchai, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the flood and was a great man in the kingdom and faithful of the king. So the king had an envoy named Bacchai, and he was he's he's one of his trusted men, right? To spearheaded this mission, right? To send against Judas, right? Because he was reported by our own people, right, to the king. Verse 9. And him he sent with that wicked Archimus, whom he made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance on the children of Israel. But all that is to establish his own for his own advantage, right? Verse 10. So they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judas and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully. So now they sent message to Judas, right, in a way where it's diplomatic, but in reality, it was deceit. So diplomacy is nothing but a profession of deceit. It's what you say out loud. That's not what you really mean, right? It's always covert operation. So you can speak to people and then have a meeting with them, but the word that you're saying, they twist it. So you have to. They even have school. You have to go to diplomatic school, so you can learn the language of a diplomat. Okay. So now he was applying diplomacy, but it was deceit, right? And when you analyze it, verse 11. But they have no heed, to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power. So on the one hand, what they saying, their words and their action, they match. So if you want peace, why you come with a large army? Right? So in verse 11, but they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power. Verse 12, then did there assemble unto Archimus and Bacchai a company of scribes to require justice. Now, the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them. So now you're always going to find some of our people who really not about war. If it's peace, we always a peaceful people, right? We're not looking to cause trouble. All we want to do is follow the law, statute, and command of the Most High, and live according to, how the Most High wants us to live, right? But those brethren right there, they were willing, to have relation with them and talk to them, so so that we can have peace and live, according to our law. In verse 14, for said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with this army, and he will do us no wrong. So now, being that we see that it's one of us, right? We think everything is fine, right? Because this is somebody from the line of Aaron, and it is one of ours, and that's why they say sometimes it's not the enemy outside that you should look at; it's the inside enemy, right? It's the enemies of your own people, because the enemy outside, it's easy to spot it But those that are with you, you have to be careful. Make sure that they are with you. Right? It could be inside, and it's easy for the enemy to get to you in the inside if your own people, who's supposed to be looking out for you, right? But they working against your own interests. Right? It says in verse 15, so he spake unto them peaceably, and swear unto them, saying, we will procure the arm neither of you nor your friends. So he gave him guarantee that we will not harm you. Right? In verse 16, whereupon they believe him, howbeit he took of them 80 men, and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote. So, write that in there. He betrayed them and went and do not according to the truth or according to the peaceable, amicable, agreement they have. He violated by killing some of our people. Verse 17.
It's a precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 9.
Jeremiah chapter 9.
Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. So that's what we saw Alchemist was doing. He was slandering Judas and those who was rolling with him.
Right.
He was lying on their names. This brother was looking to supplant because he desired to have the high priesthood. So any chance he could get, if it even cost him to go and slander or go and kill his own brothers, he would do it. So when we seen that these men came to speak to Judas and those that were with him, they said, nah, something up with these guys, right? Because not only were they wise with just their brother, but they definitely was wise also with the enemies. Go to the Apocrypha in the book of Sirach, chapter 12. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 12. And verse 10. Sirach 12 and 10 says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So when they came to approach Judas and them, they was like, nah, I hear what you're saying. Nah, something ain't right, right? Because you guys are an enemy to us. You sound good now, but over time, it's going to be sure enough that the true spirit that you have is going to come through. Right? Just like iron, over time, iron is going to rust. It's inevitable, right? So over time, these men are going to change their spirit and then try to come after us. So we're not taking heed to your word. But now here comes Alchemist with rolling with them.
Right.
So that should have been, to the Assyrians, that should have been like a caution. Say, hold on, he's with them? And they rolling, nah, something ain't right. But they flipped it and said, nah, he's one of the Levites. Everything is going to be cool with him. He'll never harm us. But the scriptures told us, you got to try the spirit by the spirit, right? You got to see what's going on with this brother. That goes for anything and everybody, because we know nowadays and today's, and there was a time where they used to call other brothers rebels. These guys are rebels, right? You got videos right now on YouTube where you got other camps slandering another brother or another camp, saying all different kind of things. So imagine if there was an opportunity for that brother to get jammed up. I'm pretty sure that one of those brothers would have them jammed up, right? So you have to be leery of those who are around you, what type of spirit they're in. If you see, even within the school, if you see somebody start languishing, or they start acting different, right? Their spirit don't act the same as it was before. You got to question that, brother, because in these days and times when times get hard, somebody may change or they may take an opportunity. I know in corporate America, they look at you and they check your finance. They look and make sure, if you got any debt, you filing bankruptcy, you going through something. You know why? Because they figure out that brother may have an opportunity to flip on us. He may go and take money or a bribe to give away our secrets or do certain things because he's going through a jam. So Alchemist was looking to do what? To gain opportunity. He desired to have that. So that was an opportunity for him to say, you know what? I'm going to go out there and put my whole nation under the fire just to get that position. Right? And you would see that if you see that this guy is thirsty, like, damn, he not even in line to be next in line. Like, why is he so extra for this? Yeah, y'all got to watch out for that brother, man. Watch him because he's going to do something. And just because you're a brother, you just can't let your guard down. You got to make sure that you keep everybody honest in this truth, but keep everybody on point with what they're dealing with.
Right. And also, we got to look at on the flip side as well. It's like when it comes to relation with other countries and people in high rank and high ranking officials. Like you could look at Alchemist as an official in Israel at that point, right? Most people would look at him as a diplomat that would be for his people, right? At that point, people trust those in the priesthood, for example, to be doing the right thing, right? So if you see him, he might be he's negotiating good deal for us, right? At that point. But at the same time, you have to, like you said, you have to check out his desires. Why is he so up in arms? It's gray hair when it comes to diplomacy. For example, you can see our people, right? For example, you look at Al Sharpton, you look at Martin Luther King, right? He was for our people. A lot of our people, right? They deceived by what he was, what he was into. But he was, on one hand, what he was saying was for his people, but he was integrating in the same system. So it's kind of like very difficult sometimes, to differentiate. If you don't have an open eye to really understand, their motive and what they're about, to figure out what they're into. So I can see, him being in that position. People look up to him, and then he ended up, deceived. That was you read Sirach 12.
Sirach 12 and 10, Jeremiah 9 and 4.
10 and 12? 12 and 10. And Jeremiah 9 and 4, right? Also, you can write down Jeremiah 17 and 5. Jeremiah 17 and 5 read, thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. So that's also something we should be looking out for, right? When somebody's, even though any of us may be in the scriptures, but make sure we speak according to the scriptures. But if we see any of us doing something contrary to the scriptures, not to follow it, right? Could be any of us that's speaking the scriptures, because we can read it, but the action, that's what we should look at. So it's Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Most High. Nobody can really do anything for us but the Most High. And if somebody does something for us, see that the action is according to the scriptures. I continue on in Verse 15, I'll read verse 15 again. So he spake unto them peaceably, and swear unto them, he even swear unto them, saying, we will procure the arm, neither of you, not your friend, nor your friends. Wherefore they believe him, right? Albeit he took of them 80 men. Right? So like somebody like him come in and swear, it's very hard because you have to take somebody by his word. And that's pretty much what they did. He took them 80 men and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote. The flesh of thy saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed around about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. So when you look at political and you look at power, it's a blood sport, right? It's a blood sport. To get to power, and we learn from the heathen, right? The way of the wicked seduceth them. How did Alexander conquer, the entire region that he conquered? To bloodshed, right? To killing, pillaging. And what was happening during that dynasty? They were fighting among themselves. So all that, some of our people copy it and see that's how you gain to power, right? So they resort to violence, learning from the oppressor, right? How to quickly gain to position of leadership position. It's either you buy it or you kill people to gain to power. And that's pretty much, at that time, the Greek had so much influence in the region, and they seduce us to kind of do the same thing. And that's pretty much what his brother did. In verse 18, wherefore the fear and dread of them fell upon all people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them, for they have broken the covenant and oath that they made. So it was an oath, it was an agreement. So he broke the contract. Right? When somebody make an oath, it's something to be taken seriously. So they pretty much took him by his word, but he broke the contract. And it's hard not to get caught, because when you have a binding contract, you expect the other party, right, to uphold his part of the contract. But in his mind, that's not what he had in his mind. What he was saying versus the action that he planned to take was different. Verse 19. After this, we moved Bacchai from Jerusalem and pitched his tent in Bezeth. It's a lot. What? Verse 19 again. After this, we moved Bacchai from Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bezeth, where he sent and took many of the men that had forsaken him, and certain of the people also. And when he had slain them, he cast them into the great pit. So that's the action. Now, he did two things. He made some people afraid of them, and he made people distrust him, and he made people fear of them. So now, in either case, he's going to have some allies, and then he has enemies of our people. So now he has to watch out how he moves. Verse 20. Then committed the country to Archimus, and left with him a power to aid him. So now, after he did that, he established fear. Then he put Archimus into power. And that's exactly what Archimus was looking for. So he appointed him and put him there, by force. Today, it's not done by force. It's done by covert operation, by trickery, right? And even if they have to kill you, it is covert. They have, the three-letter words agencies, right, appointed to do the covert operation and then establish whoever they want to establish, whether to a coup or through murdering, a head of state. So in this situation right here, it was plain. They killed the men and then appointed Archimus by force through violence. Verse 21. But Archimus contended for the high priest, and unto him resorted all, such as trouble the people, who, after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel. So he got what he wanted. He wanted to take over, so he took over. Like I said, the high priest was pretty much kind of like the governor of Israel at that time, right? So it was in under the rulership of the empire at that time. The high priest would be the one governed over Israel, but answer to the king of that empire. Verse 23. Now when Judas saw all the mischief, so now as he took over, he started to mistreat the people, right? Because that's how he got into power. So to maintain power, he had to continue the same method of taking advantage of the people, kill them. People, don't keep the laws anymore, right? And he pretty much corrupt the priesthood. And Judas, he said, now when Judas saw all the mischief that Archimus and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, so now he did even more wicked than the heathen themselves. Like the scriptures usually said, that, what's that again? Oh, the name. Salat. Let me edit the name real quick. All right. So, that's one of y'all kind of favorite scripture. Among my people are found wicked men. Can you get that scripture, y'all? Among my people are found wicked men.
Jeremiah chapter 5. I got it. Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 26.
Jeremiah 5 and verse 26. And you can get the one that says they are wise to do evil.
It says, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men.
Right. You get the other one, y'all, Colin? The other one says they are wise to do evil. To do good, they have no knowledge. Okay, read that.
Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are such as children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
Right. So once we forsake the Most High, the same way we are unstoppable when we doing the law. When we keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, we become unstoppable because now we become close to the Most High. We operate in the image of the Most High. When we forsake the Most High, we become the most wicked, right? Because we become wise in the evil side. We are wise to the evil. It's either we high on a high level on keeping the law, or we pretty much high on the wicked level when we're not dealing with the Most High. So that's how the heathen can use us in that capacity when they know we're not keeping the law. They can use us to do all kinds of wickedness, to do their bidding. Right? They can use us against each other, right? To manipulate us in the system, to get to us because we relate to our people. And once we see our people doing some things, we can relate, and we pretty much fall for the bait. Right? But in these days, as we keep in the law, statutes, and commandments, we got to be watchful for even our own people. For example, if you look at daytime TV now, they're using a lot of our people by doing the daytime show, especially our sisters, right, to do the daytime show because they know once we on that level, they can easily use us, right, to keep the system going, right, to keep the system going because we're good at what we do, right, on wicked side and on the righteous side because we are the Most High's chosen. Verse 24, verse 23 again. Now when Judas saw all the mischief that Nicanor and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, he went out into all the coast of Judea round about and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they thus no more go forth into the country. Right? So that's pretty much the above the heathen, and I'll read it again. He went out into all the coast of Judea round about and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they thus no more go forth into the country. So he persecuted those who were with Judas, right? Who were angry and upset and become opposition of what he was doing. So he went and killed them because that's the only way for him to maintain his government, right? To maintain rulership over the people is by getting rid of as much opposition as possible. So he considered Judas and his allies as his enemies, right? In order for him to remain into power. In verse 25 now. On the other side, when Alchemist saw that Judas and his company had gotten the upper hand and knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could, kind of like what you see the guy from Ukraine came and report to Trump, or like he was doing report to Biden about Putin, what he was doing. So kind of like the same thing that he did. He went to the king, report to the king on what Judas was doing, so that he can get more aid, more help, right, to pretty much consolidate his power. Right? It says. So as you can see, this is a game of game of power, right? This is not about religion, right? This is not about Hail Mary. This is about government, rulership, and power. Okay, verse 26. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, with commandment to destroy the people. And the reason why he did that, he also want to maintain power or maintain his empire, right? So, and he wants us to be influenced by the Greek way of life. So when alchemists went and report to him, right, he appealed to his desire, right, to influence Judah or Israel so that he can maintain control over us. So he would nonetheless send somebody that is more ruthless, right, than Bacchides, right, to make sure that they have us to subdue us. Right? But based on alchemists went and try to persuade him, but and his desire was to keep his position, right? So he sent Nicanor to Jerusalem with a great force and sent unto Judas his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace. It's the same thing going on. So if you really see what's going on, it's the same spirit. There's nothing different. For example, you have Trump saying that, we're going to help you. All in all, he's trying to get to Putin, right? But it's not like because he likes Putin, he wants to take over, but he got to be friend with him first. It's like if you can beat them, join them until you uncover their secret and then take him down. So that's pretty much what the game of diplomacy is about. If you are at a weak point and you can't figure your enemy out, try to be your enemy's friend or pretend to be their friend so that you can gain the advantage. Once you get the advantage, then you strike. Right? So that's pretty much what he did right here. He came with a force and he speak diplomatically. Right? He speak diplomatically so that he can get his guard down. Because at that point, Judas is a force. They can get to him. They can figure out how to take him down. So if you can't figure out how to take him down by, with your weapon, so now you have to strategize. You have to strategize on how, you're going to get to him, try to be friendly, speak nice to him so he can get his guard down. Once he get his guard down, you figure him out or his secrets on how he does things, then you can strike.
I think you think that when we talk about the 48 laws of power, that one of the principles is pose as a friend, look at the spot.
Right. All in all, you just spying. That's what they call intelligence. That's what pretty much what intelligence is about. It's about spying on your enemy, but pretend as if you're their friend. You try to help them. See, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. What do you need? All in all, is a plot. Verse 27. Verse 28. Salah. Let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another, right? And saluted one another. Came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Albeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence. So meanwhile, they were plotting to take Judah by violence, so to get him in a position where he's defenseless, and so you surrounded him and you trap him, you get him into a snare. Verse 30. Which thing after it was known to Judas to wit. So now he figured their intelligence out, right? So as they applying intelligence, he figured their intelligence out, right? Now their plot was counterproductive. It says that he came unto him with deceit. He was so afraid of him and would see his face no more. Right? So he was afraid of Judas. Nicanor also, When he saw that his counsel was discovered, so the plot was discovered. So this was a covert operation. That it didn't take root. It didn't work. Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas besides Caiaphas Salamas. So now, after you find out you fell and they figure you out, now you have no choice. Now you have to fight, because now they don't figure you out that you are up to no good. So it's either you fight to kill him or you get killed. Because at that point, there's no way you're gonna escape. Right? It says then they fight, right? In verse 32. Where there were slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. After this went Nicanor up to Mount Sion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people, to salute him peaceably, and to show him the burnt sacrifice that was offered for the king. Right, so right here, our people under the rulership of Archimus, they were sacrificing and offering for the king. So pretty much they do away with making offering to the Most High, because the plan was to get the people away from keeping the laws of the Most High, so that they can establish their own thing. But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully, and spake proudly, and swear in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his host be not delivered into mine hands, if ever I come against in safety, I will burn up the house. And with that, he went out in great rage. So he was upset because now Judas become a thorn on the side.
You even see here, even when we're in the midst of the Greeks and the Romans coming up in power around us, we still the most peaceable people.
Right.
Like all this is going on, and here come Nicanor into the city, and they still peaceful with him. Now, to their detriment, but still, Israel, we are always open arms to everybody.
Hospitality, we are hospitable.
But we always deemed as the villains.
Right.
We're always deemed as the treacherous, the murderers, the thieves, the this. But history just shows that throughout time, like, we always be the ones that be the most subtle, the most calm, like we, Right. And as you read this, it's like, yo, they just lost 5,000 men in the battle, and the rest of them fled, and some of them now is coming to Jerusalem, and here come the men. It's like, yo, won't y'all come check this out?
Right.
It's like, what? You would think that all of us would probably be on the same mind state like Judas Maccabee.
Right.
Like Judas and them was privy. It was like, look, I don't trust these guys. The hell with these guys. Right? I don't care what none of they talking about. If they coming with peace, the hell with them.
Right.
Right. But as a nation, we always gotta open arms. We always gotta consider them. We always gotta try to bend over backwards. What about them? Won't you come to the cookout? Like, we always make it, accessible for everybody to come when it's not supposed to be that way.
Right, because even Moses said he's a man of war, but the people are not really. we not like we let the Moses bring somebody like Judas to fight for us, but overall the majority of us we're not like that. Right? But that's why they have to control the narrative of us being the villain, because they have to switch history to portray us as something that we are not. because that's what power do. They change the narrative, and you become the bad guy, and they are the good guy, so that they can take over and establish their throne. Correct. And verse 36. Then the priests entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, Thou, O Lord, did choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. Be avenged of this man and his hosts, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies, and suffer them not to continue any longer. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bethron, where an host out of Syria met him. But Judah pitched in Adasa with 3,000 men. And there he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed, thine angels went out and smote 185,000 of them. Even so, destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he hath spoken blasphemously against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was slain in the battle. Right? So again, to establish a kingdom like these guys, as Alexander started it, they thought they could establish their kingdom going on the same method.
Just to reference what they mentioned as far as for when the Most High came against Sennacherib. This is 2 Kings chapter 19.
2 Kings chapter 19
and verse 32.
And verse 32.
So it reads, it said, Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with the shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it for my own sake, from my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer his sons smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon his son reigned in his stead. So righteous men like to always go back to righteous events that the Most High either raised up a savior, or if the Most High himself went and delivered the nation themselves by the hand of an angel or angels plural, to see the deliverance or the salvation of Israel. Right. So in these times when we're going through different trials and tribulations, we refer back to what the Most High done and pray to the Lord that he could do that again. Right? If he done it once, he done it twice, he can do it again.
Right.
Right? Because his name is on us.
Right.
He made covenants and oaths with Abraham, with David, that he would do these things. So the Most High does not go back on his word.
Right.
So we know that the Lord will rightly fight for his people. Right. But we got to be in the right state of mind. Right? We got to be sincere. We got to be seeking after his will. Right. And once we do that, to come back into the oath, then the Most High will defend us or protect us and fight for it.
Good. Because there's one thing we have to keep in mind is the Most High controls all the condition of the fight, always. But in the midst of the fight, it's easy to lose track of the Most High having control over everything, and especially looking out for his people, for a good, who fighting for a good cause. And let's see what Judas did and want the people to keep that in mind. It's Proverbs 3 and 5.
Something for the 38.
Come on. Proverbs 3 and verse 5 reads, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." Because in the midst of fights, bloodshed, in the heat of the battle, it's hard to even think about, anything else but, man, it looks like I'm about to die in this thing right here. Right? It looks like I'm going to die or I'm going to fight. Right? Judas always rely on the Most High, knowing that the fight that he's fighting is the Most High that's fighting for him. The skill that he has to fight the enemy and be able to withstand, from keeping them, destroying them, all that is on the Most High. The Most High have his back. Right? I'll read verse 6. It says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." So in all that he was doing, he acknowledged the Most High, and the Most High controlled the battle. Right? Because man's going is of the Lord. Let's get that real quick. It's Proverbs 20 and verse 24. So when we let the problem of life overtaken us, it's easy to forget verses like this. When we let the problem, get to our mind, and sometimes we got to step back and remember verse like this. Proverbs 20 and verse 25. 24. Proverbs 20 and 24. It's a lot. I said 25. And it reads, "Men's going are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?" So all the rulers of this world, all the presidents, all the prime ministers of all countries, the Most High controlling everything. The Most High is directing the movie. The Most High is like a movie director of life. He's pretty much dictate what every head of states do. Even though it looks like it's them making speech, they say they're going to do this, it's the Most High ultimately is in control. Whatever they do, the Most High already know that they were going to do it, right? Whatever step they take, the Most High is in control. So it's easy to forget these things when we let ourselves wrap into the whole scenario that's going on. Right? It looks like, they have power. It looks like they're in control. Nah, the Most High is in control. Whatever they're doing is ordained by the Most High. So when you see a president say, "God, put me here, allow me," they may see it, they may say it without understanding, but we understand what they say. Yes, the Most High put him there for his own purpose, for the purpose of the word that he established in the word in the Bible, that he said everything should happen exactly as it says, that's exactly what's going on. So when we see wars, rumors of wars, this country fighting against that country, the Mossad is pretty much controlling as the remote control. The joystick is in the hand of the Mossad. He's directing each and every actor in this program, right? In his own way. But to understand this, you have to know who you are as a people. Then the Mossad will reveal that to you, and then you will understand that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Other than that, if you get it from any other means, like out there in the world in Christianity, it's always gonna have a gray area. Things gonna be confusing. But when your mind is clear, you know who you are in God's eyes, you will see the things that are written in the scriptures. They're not just black and white, prints. But it says in Luke 1:68, right? 6:63. The word that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So what we're reading here for other people, they might be plain word on paper, but to us who understand the plan of the Mossad, they are spirit and they are life. St. John 6:63, right? St. John 6:63. And it's a blessing to be able to understand this the way we understand it, contrary to how other people in the world understand it. And all praises to the Mossad by Hashem Yahushua. All right, continue on.
Psalms 43 and verse 1.
Psalm 43 and verse 1.
So this is Psalms 43 and 1. Say comments you guys have. So Psalms 43 and 1. Judge me, O God, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. Oh, deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man.
Okay. So the Mossad is our help, and anything that we do, we're supposed to acknowledge. All right, back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 7. Now we at verse 39. First Maccabees. All right. First Maccabees 7 and verse 39 now. First Maccabees 7 verse 39 reads, So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bethron, where an host out of Syria met him. But Judas pitched in Adasa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, saying, Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed, thine angel went out and smote 185,000 of them. And so destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he has spoken blasphemously against thy sanctuary. and judge thou him according to his wickedness. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle. Now, when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled. They then pursue after them a day's journey from Adasa unto Gezerah, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets. Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about and closed them in, so that they were ambushed. So that they, turning back upon them that pursued them, were all slain with the sword, and not one of them was left. Afterward, they took the spoils and the prey, and smote off Nicanor's head and his right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away and hanged them out towards Jerusalem. For this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th day, being the 13th of Adar. Thus, the land of Judea was rest a little while. So it was pretty much an Independence Day. Right? So they set out to destroy us, and the Most High rose Judas, who defeated them. So, like the sister just walked in, what we were going over, we're the children of Israel, right? I'm not sure what you know. Okay. Okay.
Oh, Jubal.
Okay.
Explain that to me.
Okay, but you understood that?
That we are original Jews.
Okay, you are the original Jews.
And
Yeah, Hawashah.
No, he said
Esau.
Is the white man.
Esau is the so-called white man. Yeah.
Yes. And Ryan has been explaining some things to me. And I have also been going to other studies as far as the original Jews. The Israelites. I have been going to other classes.
Okay. All right. So you pretty much you have the basics. The basics. You understand the basics.
I have the foundation.
You have the foundation. Good. So you have the foundation. Okay. So today is the day of Judas. This was one of the days that our people, right, defended themselves against the Greeks, against the Greeks Empire at that time. So they came to destroy us, because we did not want to follow their way of life, right? And God made Judas, one of our brothers, he become someone who revolted against the Greeks. And that day, he got us, the plan was to get rid of us, right? Judas, that day, he fought under the protection of the Most High. We were able to escape. And the army they sent against us to destroy us, they were all dead. Okay. The Most High is
God.
Yeah, that's why we said the Most High, because he's the highest. Yeah, the Most High God.
So that's what the original Jews call God.
No, the originals, they call him Yahweh.
Okay.
Yeah. But when we say the Most High, it's to differentiate him, from any other little gods, like the God of the heathen, the pagan gods, right? The Most High God is above all gods. That's why we say the Most High. But his name in the scriptures is Yahweh. Okay? And that's the name that he gave Moses to tell the children of Israel. Okay.
Ever since I was 23 years old, I was studying the whole wicked law, So I was just telling Rodney this on the way coming here. I am confused.
Okay, so we're gonna go over some of that information after the class, so that we get more clarity. Right? So the goal is to know who the Most High is, who Christ is, who we are as a people, and what we need to do, right? What we need to do to get ourselves out of the lower state that we're in. Right? We're in the condition that we're in because we broke the laws of God. Now we don't even know who we are. We're confused. We don't even know the name of the Most High. We don't even know who Christ is. Right? So all that we can, show you after the service.
Well, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Before you continue?
Yes.
I told Rodney I just want to get the star that y'all carry as a symbol. And in the mummies, remember the mummies? Well, I don't know if y'all watch the type of stuff. The mummies, 1, 2, and 3. Remember when the mummy came in the and the man was shaking the little wicked man, and he had all the crosses around his neck. He had the star, the cross. He had the symbol of the other Jews, the white one, and all that. And all he did was show the mummy that y'all star, and the mummy let him go. I want y'all star. I want the Christian star. I want everybody's star. Because this is the last. We in the last day.
Right. So
I don't want to be baptized.
What's your name, sister? Tawana. Sister Tawana, we're going to talk about all of that after the service. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that after the service. Because it's not about the symbol. It's not about the star. It's about, right, it's about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of God and do what the Most High says. The symbols, and this is all decoration. And the Most High talked to us about, symbols and things like that. In what manner we ought to deal with these kind of things. All right, so we'll talk about all of that.
Yeah, I'll just say a quick few things. I know we got some people that's on the live stream, and I'm not sure who's listening to the conference, but your first question about confusion about the Most High's name, known as Jehovah. You'll read Jehovah in the Bible. Just keep in mind that it's a translation from the original language, Hebrew. So when we say the Most High's name in Hebrew, it doesn't translate to the same thing in English. Because, for instance, when we say Jehovah, the letter J wasn't invented until less than about 400 years ago. Yes, when you look it up, when you go do the research, the letter J and the writing and the pronunciation wasn't invented until almost 400 years ago. So if that is true, then God's real name cannot be Jehovah. What he mentioned earlier in the Hebrew, it's Yahweh, which comes from what we read in the book of Exodus. That's what God told Moses to tell the children of Israel what his name is in Hebrew. So I'm pretty sure you've met some Spanish people before, or somebody from another place, and you have Spanish people in your family. And when you ask them their names, they'll probably give you a Spanish name. They'll say Jesus, or they call you because they're speaking in their language. But when you give them your name, you're going to just give it to them how you received it from your parents. So it's the same thing. We received it from the Most High by way of Moses to know that it's Yahweh. And that's the original Hebrew name of the Most High. Jehovah, Jesus, right? Jesus begins with the same letter J. So now, if that letter was, if you're in the 1300s and that letter wasn't even invented yet, what would you call it? It couldn't be Jesus. It couldn't be Jehovah. So that's why when we go and we do studies, we try to go back to the original words, the original intent that we read in the Bible.
So in the Hebrew, with the original Hebrew, when was Jesus born? When was the opposite of Jesus being born?
So that,
since the J was not invented.
right, the birth of Jesus does not have to deal with the name of Jesus or the letter. It's just to make sure that when we speak, sometimes you'll hear us speak, we sometimes speak in Hebrew, is because we're trying to come back to our original language, our original heritage, right? Even today, right? The personification of this night that we're celebrating, when you read in the Bible, it tells us in Job 8:8 to go in search of the former age, in search of our fathers. We keep or have kept holidays in today's time and don't know what it means. Valentine's Day.
God told me, I just learned that in the Bible it says celebrate the Passover, but you don't celebrate Easter.
Right, exactly.
I learned that since I've been coming here.
That's beautiful, all praise, right? So the Passover is coming up in another month. Those days have significance to us. So tonight being the day of Judas, and we now see that in the Bible, it tells us every year on this day to come and give honor to Judas for what he did for us as a people. And then we look and we see that he defended us against the Greeks, right? Against this man and an army. And when he defended him, he cut off his neck or cut off his head, cut off his shoulder. You got to think about that. It's like you're in the midst of a war and somebody say, give me a sword. Somebody give me a sword or a hatchet. That man is already dead. I'm going to take it. I'm going to cut off his head. And then now you got to do what? You got to cut off his whole shoulder. And you chop it and you chop it. And everybody's standing there while watching. Blood splattered everywhere. You say, well, what's going on here? This guy tried to come and kill us. And that man defended us. He stood up for us when others didn't stand up for us. So today, when we read these stories, we say to ourselves, man, we in the same situation. We're under the same circumstances. There's a lot of us that are being killed and murdered. I heard a brother say under Obama, more black men got killed on TV than any other president. And we love Obama so much. But a lot of us was being murdered in plain sight. And no one stood up to defend us. So now when we come back and we come to these days and we keep these solemn assemblies, we're reminded to say we're still in the strait. We're still under siege. We're waiting for that righteous one to come and defend us, to come and redeem us, right? So the brother said that, yes, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on certain questions. You got a lot of questions. But I just wanted to read one more about the star. You got enough. I'm going to read one more about the star, right? Because you said you want the star like how we got a star.
Yeah.
And you see in the movie Mummy that the star was what's keeping them away.
Yeah.
But this is the real star, right? This is Revelation chapter 22 and 16, right? I'm going to read it as is, and then I'm going to give you the Hebrew. It says, I, Jesus. That's the translation of his real name, which is Yahweh Shai in Hebrew, which means he saves. That's what the Hebrew word means. The translation into the Latin or the Greek is Jesus. So it says, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star, right? That's the real star that we should be looking to achieve. Now, when you look at that meaning, a star, you look up, it's up in the heavens, it's above everything, right? We are supposed to look to Christ. He's our Savior. He's the light that we should be now looking for in these last days. That's what's going to protect you. He's going to now defend you. I have this on right here, right? I got this on my neck. But now let's just say I go out there and I'm doing things that Christ and the Most High God does not approve of. But just because I have this ain't going to protect me, right? I can get murdered, shot, killed for doing all kind of wickedness.
But that's not stop talking.
What star are you talking about?
They got a, then it come around like a circle, then it goes back this way, and it go like this. Oh, well, I want
Yeah,
I want
that has nothing to do with our people.
Oh.
Nothing to do with our people.
apologize,
Yes.
y'all.
Yes, no.
Then we ain't
And don't apologize because it's you just didn't know. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, that I mean you didn't know. That's why you come to classes and then you bring forth your questions and your comments, and sometimes in honesty you learn certain things, right? You may learn and say, oh, that was associated with that. I didn't know that. Oh, now I see because I read in the Bible the Egyptians had God's people in slavery. So why would I want to associate myself with those who are the enemies of God's people if I'm God's people? Right? We just got to start stirring up the questions in the mind. So you're in the right place to ask all your questions, all your concerns, and through the Lord's will and spirit, we'll try to answer them. So don't think that that was a bad comment or a bad question. We're just here to edify you, sis. All right.
All right, all right, so with that, the takeaway from this today is the day of Judas. It shows that the Messiah can bring can do miracles in the face of overwhelming, odds of losing from the enemy. And also it provides a way for us to stay grounded and oppose anyone, any government who stand against us keeping the law, statute, commandments. Right? Even though it says obey authority, but the authority that we obey should not come against us. If the authority said we don't keep the law, we have the scriptures to fall back on to see the example that Judas Maccabeus did, right? To keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So we have to fight for the truth unto death, regardless of the situation. Right? If the power that be don't tell us to break the law, that's fine. But if they tell us to not keep the laws of the Most High and say we don't keep the high holy days, that's a different story. Right? So the example is there, showing that we ought to keep the laws of the Most High in any kingdom that we in, under any circumstance, right? We should keep the laws of the Most High. So that's pretty much what Judas Maccabeus, by the hand of the Most High, exemplified throughout our generation. So that's why we keep this day. And with that, we're gonna close out and
just keep in mind tomorrow night. This day will end, but we'll then go into the next solemn day, which is going to be days of Purim.
Done. So we have feasts back to back. We're gonna come in again, edify the congregation, what it's about according to scripture, and show why we keep it, right? Because everything we do, it has to be by the law. It's a nation. Whatever action the nation takes, it has to be predicated based on the law, statute, and commandments. Just like in the U.S., they have the Constitution. Even that, they violated the official that's supposed to uphold it and make the people, understand it. They pretty much use it. Few people know it. Few officials know it, but the majority of the population, they don't know the Constitution. In our kingdom, the Bible is pretty much a book for the children of Israel, for their kingdom to follow it. So that's what we're doing now. Exemplify, read, understand, and then Christ will establish the kingdom, and it also will bring the word, to life exactly as the Most High said that everything should happen. Right? So again, this is not a religion. This is about rulership. This is about a kingdom. Right? And today, again, it shows every time the kingdom is at risk, we face existential threat. Right? The Most High always brings someone like Judas Maccabeus, right, to preserve his people, because the Most High said he would not utterly destroy his people. So that's why every time we face that existential threat, the Most High always have somebody rise up to defend the remnant of his people. So with that, we're going to say stay tuned for the closing prayer. So let's follow what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna blow the horn, and then I'm gonna say a prayer, and then after that I'm gonna direct the congregation to stand up. All right. Yawa Basham Yahushai, Ashiral and Tananawa Parya Gapan to Wada Aman, La Yahal Basham Yahushai, At Yashal. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that give to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it, to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai with Israel. I model upon you, are you awesome? Stand and face Jerusalem. Repeat the Hebrew only. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakushai, Shemai, Lanawa, Aitha, Yamyan, Aitha, Shalat, Maika Allah, Wala Lahayim, Atazudakim, Shemo Ayo, Borak, Rapa, Magun, Wakaziyak, Bunya, Yasha Allah, Wasalat, Lanawa, Rabiam, Takama, Rabiam, Ta'if, Rabiam, Bayana, Rabiam, Sabalanwa, Rabiam, Amawan, Rabiam, Aqua, Rabiam, Ahabiam, Rabiam, Agana, Wakanaya, Wasalat, Kau, Katayimna, Laakim, Wayashala, Tamyad, Wayulam, Basham, Yahushai, the water, Aman. English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please listen to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous powers and angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, make strong the children of Israel, and send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much mutual protection, and forgive us all our sins for the brothers and sisters in Israel, always and forever. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Four corners prayer. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Barak Now, Oyasha Allah, Bafi Sapaya, Shema, Yashir Allah, Yahweh, Allah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Achad. English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us in Israel in the house of books. Yahweh, hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power is one power. Blessing of the food. Yahweh, I got a wall. Ba'ashem, Adawanya, Yahushai, Abukushai, Barak, Ma'akol Yanawa, Shatayawaf Yanawa, Yayen Yanawa, Lacham Yanawa, Shakara, Sakad, Shah, Hayuam, Yahuda, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. All right. All right, brothers, circle up. Sister, please seat. Shalom, shalom.